Johnson. Oh, you've got to love that.
Welcome to the replay of Melbourne versus Adelaide from Carrara Oval on the Gold Coast. Round 3 on Fox Footy, where AFL is everything.
Welcome to Sunday Football and Carrara Stadium here in Queensland. Round 23, 1992 is the last time we had a game played here in the season proper. I don't know if he played in it, but Dwayne Russell was around at that stage.
Just got sacked, Dermot, but thanks for raising
Sorry about
it.
that.
Beautiful 1 minute, maybe raining the next here at Carrara. Bright sunshine all morning as we see the Adelaide Crowboys run out, but there's some black clouds hovering, so we might get some rain before the end of the game.
The Adelaide Crows make their way out onto the field. They've beaten Melbourne 4 out of their last 5 occasions by an average of 9 goals, so they'd feel pretty good about themselves today as they take the field.
You notice Matner's not there as well, so that back line has had Matner taken out and Massey has been brought in as a late change.
All premiership teams, now they are not a premiership team yet, they're a real chance, but all premiership hopefuls and indeed premiership sides have a very settled defence. Hart, Rutten, John Cock are all along the back line. Benny Hart's a superstar. He's a champion of the game. Rutten's the All-Australian fullback. And John Cock has that unique talent to shut down a key little man who's very creative and dangerous. And then you get Bassett gets a job on a mid-size to a large defender, and McGregor can run around with the great big guns.
And confirms your theory that a lot of great backmen started out as forwards. McGregor was a centre-half forward, and we saw Rutten kick goals with his first 3 kicks in AFL football. All of a sudden now is the All-Australian fullback. And
good luck to Adam Uzo. He plays his 204th consecutive game of league football today. That puts him second on the all-time list behind the great Jimmy Steins, former teammate. Can the Demons do it? They're up against the Crows. You're watching Sunday Football.
So it could tell in the last quarter. And also, how good is this? AFL is back. Hopefully it can press the natives up here. First time in 14 years for points.
Now, Robbo.
Umpires this afternoon, Stevick, McLaren and Jeffrey. And the senior man's got, McLaren's got the football, and we're underway. White up very high, didn't touch the footy. McLeod's got it, immediately tackled, and the umpire will do it again.
Look down to the Adelaide end of the ground, and Mark Rashudo at full forward, 11 goals to his credit for the first 2 games, being picked up by Carroll.
White decisively. Shirley's over the football. Johnston took him down. Good one, quick hands. Edwards releases Burton. 65 metres out long to full forward. Bacon square. This one will bounce through. A bouncer to relaunch proceedings at Carrara.
Brett Burton, you could be forgiven for thinking he's just kicked the goal. He's lined up in the forward line. No, legitimately came off the side of the wing there. You notice that Travis Johnson laid a tackle initially there, and there was a fair bit of anger in it as well as the way he slapped around that Melbourne opponent.
Told to take his time. Umpire will say something different very shortly. No Brown to Wheatley. Awkward half volley. Oh, I thought it was a half volley. He's taken the mark, and the umpire was in good position to see it. Comes back to Carroll.
They're going to have to do this, Melbourne. They're playing so many numbers behind the ball. They're packing their back line so much that they're going to have to possess it. I just don't know against a team which is capable of pressuring whether Melbourne's skills can hold up for the duration of the day if this is their game plan for the whole match.
I can just see it now in Melbourne, all the Carlton fans reaching for the remote as Ward kicks it up towards the wing. Not this again. Good one over the top, almost a spectacular mark. Dropped it on the way down. A former Melbourne player, Thompson, to our man Bassett. John Cock, Massey. John Cock once more. Drew a man, Shirley, cruising past his Burton. Well, plenty of them getting a touch. Burton, who kicked the opening goal, senses the same opportunity and rolls through another one. Oh, he assessed it magnificently. Looked up, Bacon square, a sense of deja vu.
As Scribes looking at it, we're going to say well done, and we love the theatrical aspect of that. The big goal on the run from inside the centre square. But as a coach, if you're looking at that, you're going to go send the message out to Burton and say on the wing. You love the change of direction right across the goal, and you possess the ball and you use your skills that way, but you use it when you can play on and then get quick penetration through the centre.
Clark knocked it down. Well, Skipworth carried forward. He was. Marks to date, Melbourne 20, Adelaide 5. It's a mirage, though. There goes the kick towards half forward.
Beautiful.
Rivers knocked it straight down. Bow beautifully placed. Kicks a long-range goal.
Two steps from 51, and it went through probably about 8 to 10 feet off the ground. So, as Robbo has pointed out, there seems to be a fair bit of extra carry with the ball going in that direction. And also the fact that Melbourne aren't willing to try and kick long into the wind, because they know it probably would seem like they're going to get 40 to 45 metres maximum. And that makes you a little bit reticent, go a little bit wider and try and possess it.
Whelan, where will he go this time? Last time, in fact the last couple, pretty adventurous. Drives it outside the 50 this time. From behind Clark, Goodwin, knowing that was going to happen. McLeod across the ground. They're queuing up. Van Berlo plays on. They work it across to Riley. Riley, little chip into space. Leading up there was Warnock. He was pushed in the back. Doesn't matter, the ball bounces out of bounds and will be thrown in.
Looks like that to me, that corner of the ground there looks like a baseball corner. Would you get the pitcher's mound about where the ball will be thrown to, and the batter's up in the corner there. Very deep square pocket.
Ball back into play. Clark knocked it just past Edwards. Tackle on Bruce. Didn't really tackle him correctly. The umpire allowed it, and we'll get a ball up inside attacking 50 for Adelaide. There's that pocket, Dermot.
There it is, yeah.
Do you think that
is a fair way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Unless the bloke building the fence just got lost for a sec.
He was getting paid by the meter.
Ball up. Clark knocks it down to Whelan. Sends it towards the wing. Adelaide with numbers there. McGregor. He knocked both of his teammates over. Robertson picks it up. Riley's got him. It was a throw.
What an important tackle. Melbourne were away had he not laid that to that standard.
Meantime, a short one comes to McGregor.
See, this is a great transference across the ground because they get penetration forward now.
And it finishes up with a left footer. The long kick from Goodwin, well inside the 50, lurking at the back. It's taken by Burton. Well, here's the master. He should be playing bocce.
That's a cracker. That is an absolute cracker. And he said, now we'll watch it again in replay. I think I mentioned the word earlier. Improvisation. Just knows. And footballers practice these now. Peter Dacos was the first one to use the bias of the ball, or the shape of the ball to advantage. And people used to marvel at it. And he was just a magician, but now they practice it at training.
Still very cloudy as Biglands is thinking about coming back. Clark, meantime, backhands it down. McDonald got the crumb, but straight to Hart. And now Adelaide putting their stamp on this game. They're starting to dominate the midfield.
Bork coming up.
Very early Bork. Well done by Pickett. Well, one would consider having the ball at all. Prior opportunity there. Pickett comes back again. Well played. Gave it away, though, Shirley. Doughty goes after it. And it's going to be a free kick to Shirley. Well, the veteran, Ben Hart, got into his move about 5 metres from the man on the mark. He needed to be closer. This is McGregor, centre-half back.
Get it back here now, Benny, and off he goes.
Nobody near him. And nobody behind McGregor, who kicked the ball. Hart inside the 50, off the fingertips down there. It was Carroll up in front. Going back, I think it was Warnock who slipped over. In fact, that's him with the football now. Opportunity going to the ground. Brown soccering off the ground was Burton. Back in front of goal. Henschel falling, snaps and misses to the left-hand side.
Before that kick to goal, I just made mention of that. I was worried about their skills in the back half if they wanted to over-possess at Melbourne. We've already seen several shots at goal because of the lack of Melbourne ability to hit the target by hand or foot in their defensive side.
Quick end kick into Rivers, who found Ward. Half-back flank for the Demons. Only 4 games last year. Daniel Ward get a consolation prize with the Sandringham Premiership. In fact, he was best on ground. Won the Goss medal in that VFL flag. Kicks to the wing. Neats. Haven't seen a lot of him so far. Hart chips it to the midfield. Bode. Seen a bit of him. Gives it off to John Cock. They're looking dangerous again. Burton back of the pack. He's about to go. Gets there. Carroll. Burton keeps it alive. He wants to roll another one through. Surely not number 4. Surely. Gee, it's good to watch.
And you know what he's got now? He's got the blinkers on. He actually could have given that off then. You can't blame him for kicking the goal here. Now watch Rashudo. Lays the Shepherd on. Yeah, legitimate. Well done. Couple of players around. You're not going to knock him for kicking that one, though.
Burton 3 out of the last 4 goals as they continue to roll. He started the day with 2 goals. In the space of another term, he's got 6 for the season. What a start. Melbourne in desperate trouble. They need to be careful. Admittedly, Adelaide have the breeze, but it's more the way they're doing it as Clark floats it inside the 50, loose at the back. Not 5, off the ground. No, couldn't get the penetration. Bruce gets back to Rivers. Around the corner, he comes to Brown. Play-on's the call. Lays it off. The kick comes out from Warnock towards the wing. Under the football there was Miller. Getting back is John Cock. McDonald did well, harassed him. Taken there by McLeod to Riley. Twisting, turning, back to McGregor. McGregor, good vision it was. Pitches just short of Rashudo. Biglands, 55 metres out, sets it long to full forward. Taylor made. Well, his confidence is high. Socket off the ground, Bode gets his second. And Melbourne a bit unlucky there. Was it a free kick? Obviously not.
Just couldn't get enough steps into the jump here. Otherwise, we'd be looking at a contender. And well done too by Cam Bruce. He backed into him, took away his initial knee lift for his jump, and Krusty the Clown Bode.
Still Melbourne showing a lot to start this second term.
Go long here. He's got an option of 3 if he can get there.
Rutten bounces it out to Thompson. He decides to run it half back. Across the ground he comes. Perry dropped the mark. Overcommitted was Rivers, who had a good first term. Short one is on to Shirley. Shirley, 70 metres out, sets it long towards full forward. Warnock is there. Burton got in his face, and the ball runs out of bounds in the pocket.
That was clever by Burton, wasn't he? He didn't actually try and mark it, but he knew that Warnock had a clean sighter on it. He just needed to spoil him to keep it in the area.
Breeze definitely a little bit tricky. Ball back into play. White. And Bigland's got the palm down. Great pickup, Rashudo. Caught by Carroll, who is right with him. Johnston. Caught by Henschel. Warnock. Back to Whelan. Now Wheatley. Spears it wide. Tucked into the boundary, and that'll do. Jared Rivers. Robbo, how's that wind looking?
Still advantage, obviously, to Melbourne, but Paul Wheatley had an enormous amount of work on his neck. He's had to pick up Burton. He's, well, he was off the ground for quite a while, so he's got the job in front of him in the second term.
Here's Green. Johnston in trouble. Now a chance for Goodwin. Pulls it back towards the middle, and Henschel directly in front.
Boy, behind play. Goodwin went down.
Green jousting with Rashudo. He's always got that smile, as Whelan. You know he's a troublemaker.
Damn optimists.
He's a beauty. Henschel directly in front. Should kick it 20 metres out to settle the Crows, at least in the short term. And that's a good kick. Splits the middle.
I'm not so sure that when Burton runs towards goal, see, Warnock has actually has thought, right, they're going to go for Burton. Burton's drawn the 2 opponents then and left Henschel up the centre. So
Clark and Jamar jostle for position. Clark had Jamar's jumper, and Clark gets the free kick. Jamar didn't argue, so maybe it was there. Over the top to McLeod, and he can run.
good Shepherd.
Yeah. Spears the pass to Perry.
Well done by Brett Burton. He called McLeod onto that footy very early for the Shepherd.
Rashudo lost Carroll big time. And Rashudo's marked.
He hasn't kicked a goal yet, Mark Rashudo. And looking at the matchups, I was really worried this morning at the size and shape to match up on Mark Rashudo. And probably Carroll is the best size and shape. He outsizes him. Doesn't have quite the same mobility. But I just think that once the ball starts to get in there with a bit of delivery and he gets a little bit of space around him, he's going to outthink his opponent Carroll like that and find himself with uncontested marks.
6 goals round 1 against Collingwood, 5 goals round 2 against the West Coast, and he's got one this afternoon.
Yeah, he just had Carroll committed one way on the lead. Beautiful shepherd by Brett Burton to allow that kick coming through. And Perry sums it up right about now. Rashudo has dudded Carroll, and you can see how far apart there is. You just can't afford to. He started shoulder to shoulder when Perry.
And Bassett getting across there with a finger tipper. That was a very casual kick. Clark out of defence. Riley runs hard. Van Berlo just on the ground through the interchange gates. Riley ignores that. Van Berlo tracks on. Meantime, Perry has it. McLeod. Skipworth. Van Berlo's still on alongside. He's got it now, but it's like a hot potato. Down he goes. Skipworth over the football, head down. Pickett crashed into him. Riley advances at 15 metres. Rivers falling to the ground. Burton has it, goes off his step, wobbles it to full forward. Rashudo almost the one-hander. Carroll soccers it away. Van Berlo across to Rashudo, snaps and kicks a goal. His second. He's got the last 2.
Now, for what Nathan Carroll brings to the table as a footballer, he's done as well as he can there, but see how he watches? See, after he soccers that away, he admires the work of soccering it away from his dangerous opponent, and Rashudo gets up and carries on. And there you go, not in frame.
2 goals to Rashudo in this term, and when you talk about superstars, you've got to put Rashudo right up the top. And what a game it's going to be. Round 15. Maybe Adelaide's greatest ever player plays his 300th, Mark Rashudo. McLeod gets the takeaway, heads toward Bode, back of the pack. Burton snaffles it, kicks it wide. It may scrape in for a behind. It does, just the one behind. It's amazing to think that Melbourne's been in the competition 100 years, or more than 100 years, and they have no 300 game players. In Adelaide, they've been in the competition 15, and they've got Hart, who's played 301. And by the end of this season, Rashudo would have played 300.
Melbourne playing in their back half at the moment. This is Ward, can go short to White. They'll need to run here. They've got a problem. Edwards, has he got him without the football? I thought so, but the shocker comes directly to Goodwin, to Bode. Bode lines up and punishes the Demons. Oh dear.
Ooh, the skills in the back half. The damage is already done by now. It's the pass that went to Jeff White. I mean, league footballers, without too much pressure, shouldn't really miss a 20-metre pass. Well, Adelaide missed that handball then, but they're under a tackle. Now, they're under some form of pressure. Melbourne are missing their disposals when they are free running in space and just shouldn't.
McLean hooks it back inside the forward 50. Oh, good mark taken by Henschel. It was good because he was bumped as the ball arrived. His poise and concentration was such that he reeled it in. John Cock. Now Riley.
He's damaging Riley this quarter.
Plenty of space to run as well. 5th year on the list. And he's really showing something again this year. High kick inside 50. Burton. Oh. Handles it over the top. And Skipworth sends it home. It's a party.
Beautifully done. Once again, didn't have the greatest leading option. There was no Rashudo out front, so they kicked to a pack of 6 players. And then it's a 50-50 crumb. And if you win the crumb and somebody's just happens to have run hard enough from the midfield and they run themselves into open space, it's a foregone conclusion.
Getting some early touches here, Wheatley. That one a half volley to Johnston. And looking for Bruce, missed the target. Coming in quickly was Goodwin, deflects it across to McLeod, back to Goodwin. Looping hand pass over the top, John Cock. Now McLeod on the burst. Henschel running up towards the wing. Gets a call from Doughty. Feeds it back towards the middle. Rashudo's got the run of it, spots a man, cleverly puts it across to Massey. Sets up for him, takes on the tackler, goes back to Edwards. Edwards from 40 metres out, bends it back on the breeze. I'll take a bow, Mark Rashudo.
Just took a hack at it, but knew what he was doing and went with the direction. Let's get a look at this.
He looks up.
See how he gets that little look there and just cleverly pops it out there. Aaron Davies so good at running down tackles, just not enough power in the upper body to hang on to that one as he propped and walked inside him. And you tend to fall into the trap of thinking we can just kick it long every time. It just allows you to pinpoint the ball, and then your final kick gets coverage.
Shirley, Goodwin, and now McLeod snaps with the left foot tight from behind. Yes, I think if you had the choice, you'd go with the breeze first and third, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you do. And you can hold up against it. It allows you to actually hit the ball, lace out to your teammates, and then the final kick, the final shot at goal is such an advantage, having been able to cover the 55 metres or so. But if you think you're just going to bomb it long every time, the opposition just set up for the long kick, they put numbers behind it, and they'll pick you off.
Wheatley to himself, short to the pocket, finds Sylvia.
Holds it up. Danger, back to Green.
Now this is, look, take possession as best you can, but you've got to be able to move on fairly quickly.
Green heads wide to Warnock, the first gamer. On debut, the 22-year-old chips the kick. Nathan Brown back into the team this week after being dropped. Henschel shepherds nicely for Thompson, slips it inside 50 to the roof.
It's not a tough kick from this pocket, Robbo. It'll bend a long way, won't it? Oh, good lead.
Plays on quickly to Edwards, who takes the mark.
When I was saying that, Robbo, I meant that it does open up that face down there with the wind blowing pretty well straight into the teeth of goal.
Absolutely, and if Rashudo was going to have a shot, he'd just hang it out there and just drift across. So he'll have to do the same. Edwards will have to do the same here, not as dramatic, and just aim it out there, let it come round the breeze. We saw it with Melbourne in the second term.
Already kicked the one. Coming off a good game last week, 27 possessions against the West Coast. And a great player his entire career. And that was perfect. He's got 2.
All right, let's just cast our mind back a fraction for the modern game. The kick-in came to the defensive 50. And then they went backwards. And then they went to the goal square. And then they didn't quite get it back out to the 50 again before it was turned over.
In American football, they have a thing called the prevent defence, which fans say prevents their team winning. They just drop back and absorb pressure and absorb pressure. Well, Melbourne doing something akin to that. They need a plan B, I think, as McLeod kicks it long. Will this skid on? Gathered down there by McLeod. He knows how they bounce on. He runs onto the loose ball and kicks his fifth.
Well, there's 2 rules as a backman. If you're a forward and you know what the backman's thinking, you're halfway there. And one of the first rule is never let your opponent between you and the ball. That's what Brett Burton does. And when the ball's on a quick run into the forward line, never let your opponent get goal side of you. Wheatley let him do both on that occasion.
Riley in trouble, and he was taken high. He'll get the free kick.
So Bode on the wing, about to chip the ball forward. Goodwin. In great form this year so far, 36 possessions last week, and he's on that pace again this afternoon. Chips it over the top to Biglands. Inside 50, Rasciuto. Strong hands. Carroll was right with him. And Rasciuto will line up from a pretty tough angle, but as Dermot said, the pockets aren't that deep here.
Gee, that was good running from Rhett Biglands to be the link player. He came from out of the centre square to get onto that half-forward, true half-forward flank to be the link player forward of that static type of kick.
2 goals in the second term, Mark Rasciuto. Big kick this. They're running out of time with this breeze. They put a big lead on the board, Adelaide, and that is sensational. Touched off the boot. Touched off the boot. It's a behind. Great kicks from the lead.
Handy point.
John Cock off his step. Edwards been busy again this afternoon. It's in the back pocket. There's no other way. Just over 9 minutes till full time. To Hart. Edwards moves around the back to make himself available. Not required. Bassett. Well, that's a good kick. A precise kick. Chews up some more clock, but gee, there's a long way to go. Bassett. Hit hard earlier. I think we said it last year, like your favourite uncle who does bird calls, you got to love him. He's up towards the wing. Kicks it towards half forward. White. Oh, that was a big leap. Bode was taken high. No justice. He'll get the free kick.
He almost fell into that penalty.
Matty Bode looks up, and he's got Riley free. He can run it to 50. Goes with a long launch to the goal square. Rasciuto getting back. Can't grab it. Can't keep it alive.
Oh,
Get a ball in.
Game of centimetres. If it drops half a metre, 50 centimetres closer to him, then he's taking a shot at goal now.
Ball back into play. White to do the ruck against Biglands. Half a knuckle on it. Sylvia comes hard. So too Byron Pickett. Hacks it into the midfield. Robertson. Henschel. He beat Robertson. Body on body they were. Henschel got front spot. Chips the kick. Riley was at 15. No, not this time. And we've seen some 15-metre kicks shorter than that. Goodwin chips it. And the two friends combine Rasciuto to line up from on the 50.
Battle of the Beards. It's done it well, though.
Been on Carroll all afternoon. It's like a pub matchup. Rasciuto versus Carroll at the bar.
Having a look at Carroll's beard, though, it looks like the side panel of a hot rod.
Big kick this for Mark Rasciuto. Been a sensational player, and as we said, in round 15, will play his 300th. And he loads up long. He's as good as it gets.
And while this is in play now, you can see his feet coming up through the bottom of the screen. He's recognising it's going to go to a player. There's 3 or 4 players closer to goal. So it's not going to be a long kick. It's going to be a pressured kick forward. And Neil Danaher is really angry and pointing at Jeff White right now. He had Nathan Carroll running through the centre, but he opted to just go for the big bomb, didn't hit it right. And he effectively just turned it straight over to Henschel.
Biglands and White, McLean, third man up. Burton snaps around the body. It won't be a goal. It's across the face. Finn Burlow. Sensational mark. Given the circumstances, that might be the game saver. $11 games in his debut season last year. He really did hit the scene with a bang. Started on the bench this afternoon. And he lines this up inside 5 minutes. He's going for the check side, the banana. He bends it around. Not enough. Only a behind.
Just about the spot Simon Beasley took the after siren shot from here.
The crowd didn't come on.
No.
It's from the lead.
Geez, finding some footy in this last quarter, Simon Goodwin.
Boundary throw in, right half forward for Adelaide. Looking for their second victory of the season. Clark decisively. Goodwin away on his left side. Too much carry for Rashudo. Perry goes in. Hits the post. Oh, damn. But as they say, that's a pretty handy point. It makes Melbourne's job so much harder.
Because you can go about 40 or 50 seconds in league footy before you have to kick to a true contest. But there'll be a hard man press after the initial burst from this huddle at centre-half back.
Henschel short goes to Edwards. He takes the mark.
He's got about 8 seconds up his sleeve before the umpire will say move it on.
Heads wide to the pocket and Hart just inside the boundary line. Plays on quickly to Massey. Coming hard, McDonald. Massey holds it up inside a minute. That was a massive call. That touched on the line.
They'll hold this flank open, straight down the line behind him. They'll hold it open and somebody will lead into it for the short.
Massey. He puts the ball alive in a pack. High ball. Bode's got it. Melbourne need the takeaway. Bode's wrapped up and the umpire will bounce it. But the ball is alive. 50-50 with 37 seconds left and Melbourne 1 goal from the lead.
Good to see the clock stopped. Over the top, Miller. Goodwin at close quarters. Perry dragged down. McDonald feeds it out of the pack. White. Hurried kick away. Chance for McLean. He fumbled. He goes again. Did he have the football? Brown's got it. Plenty of company. Van Berlo put the body in. Whistle. Van Berlo gets the free. And that could just about do it.
And dragged over the shoulder.
Wow. We're down to 15 seconds. Melbourne have got to find a man now. Van Berlo saying cool it. Goes back, and this one is in the book. Adelaide will win by 5 points. A cruel blow for Melbourne. There's the siren. Terrific game. Brings football back to the Gold Coast. And that man had no small hand in the result. Burton, 4 goals in the opening term. He finishes with 5. And Goodwin, quite outstanding with 34 possessions.
It was brilliant.
Full credit to Melbourne. They kept on coming. And that's an empty feeling. He knows his side played well, apart from the opening, I suppose, term and a bit when Adelaide appeared as though they might blow them out of the water. From then on, Melbourne with a better team. But it stands for naught. And that's their number of wins. 0-3. Adelaide now 2-1 after their loss to the West Coast Eagles last week. A terrific game, particularly after half-time. Nice to be back at Carrara.